Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Happy Friday. My name is Paloma and I am a 25-year-old living in San Diego, California, and this is Money Facts. I am on a journey to try to get financial freedom, and currently we are in the stage of paying off our debts. And specifically right now I'm trying to pay off my credit card debt, and we just hit a milestone back in July where we did pay off our car loan. I'm excited for today's video. We're gonna go ahead and review our September 8th paycheck and try to go ahead and budget that out. So thank you so much for joining me, and let's go ahead and jump into the video and get started with the first thing, and that is that we're in a new month and we need to do our August tabulations. And for those that don't know, I do have a wall chart that I keep hung in my room so I can look and visually see how far I've come in my journey. And then also, for example, this past month, my debt payoff did go a little bit down, more into the negatives. And so being able to see that and kind of refocus and reprioritize what it is that I'm doing also, I think, is a perfect example. Let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of the August numbers here for you. There's a couple of categories in my tabulations chart, and it really breaks down from income in the green line, savings in the pink line, expenses in the blue line, and debts in the red line. And these debts are just consumer debt, so that includes my car loan, credit card. It does not include my mortgage because I would need a lot more paper than this. For August, our income came out to $3,506 with 88 cents. And I realized that I had been charting my income based on what hits my bank account and not on what I'm actually making. So I do split my check every month, and part of it goes directly into a savings account and the other part comes to me so that I can use that to then pay my fixed expenses, my variable expenses, and things like that. And so I wasn't adding the money that was going into the savings because I've gotten myself used to thinking about that as not income because it's going towards savings. I did have to go back and do a little deleting and adding in the other one, and so this past month you could see that there was a little spike in how much income I actually made, and that was again the total of $3,506 with 88 cents. And then if you go down to your savings for the month of August, we saved $1,142 with 68 cents in total. Currently our split check is at $360 every check going towards my savings. For expenses, you'll see that here on the blue line we did spend $4,230 with 29 cents for the month of August, and so that is marked here. And really this is why I started getting into this journey of finances and trying to make sure that I was aware of and taking responsibility of my finances. And there's another video where we talked about this, but basically I was living way above my means. I'm not paying attention to my finances, finding it easy to go on various types of loans, from mortgages to student loans to car debt to credit card debt to solar panel debt. So it's just very easy nowadays to get approved for those things and go into those. And so if you see here in March, my spending was, I spent $12,000 in March. Of course, there's a variety of things that played into it, but still, if you take a look at where the blue line is, consistently, it's never been below how much I'm actually making. And this is just from this beginning, January of 2023, that I actually started tracking this. Really, when I paid attention to my finances was around, I want to say October is when it started hitting me. November is when I started reading the book Your Money or Your Life, and David Ramsey's book on your road to financial peace. And in December is when I really was like, okay, I need to do something to tackle this. I don't know what. And then in January, after the big holiday spending, I felt so bad that I was like, yeah, something needs to get done. And what that is, I have no idea, but we're gonna get it done. I cannot imagine what my spending was then. And our hope is that one day our spending will be below how much we're actually making, and that our savings will be way high. And there's a new line that I'm going to be tracking, which is the investment income, and that is how much my savings or investments or any of that is making for me, and the income that investing is making. Again, I don't have a lot saved. Just with the $1,000 that's in my bank right now on savings, because things are at 5% interest rate, I got like $5. Sorry, it says investment income was $3.09. Personal debt started really at about 21, and I slowly been able to pay that off, and now I'm about $7,500 in debt, and hopefully that comes down in the next months. And my target is to be at $0 in debt this coming April of 2024. So we'll see how we do. And with that, let's go ahead and jump into the next part of the video. Here we are. Here is our little template that we've been working on to try to keep track of some of our finances. And this is the one for September. So in the previous video, we did go over the top, starting debts, current debts, and savings, and we talked about our sinking funds and did our first part of our fixed expenses, which is the mortgage and the bills. And today we're going to go ahead and see what's left over in our bank account after that first initial paycheck. And we have currently $32.87 in our bank account, and our paycheck for Friday the 8th, which is today, is of $1,408.35. And that is definitely lower than the previous one, but in the previous one I did have overtime. Also, for savings, we do have another $360 that is being added to our savings. Whoop whoop. Which means we are really pretty much in a good standing for the month. And I want us to take a look at our fixed expenses and some of these variable expenses. But before we do that, I want to jump into a quick story time for you. All right, so you may have noticed I changed locations. It got really hot outside, and my phone overheated and it died. And then I was also getting hot. So I did change, and we're inside. My phone is back. It's okay. And so, story time. If you remember, here in San Diego, we got a little bit of Hurricane Hillary. And like I mentioned, we're okay. Nothing bad happened. Like it wasn't at the magnitude that a lot of other places were hit with Hurricane Hillary, like in Baja Tijuana. But we did get a little bit of rain and wind, and we have a big pine tree. And this pine tree, I do not know how old it is. It is really tall, and we knew at some point we had to cut it down because the branches had started to split and it was heavy. And again, I don't know how old it is and if it's splitting because it's decaying or what is going on with that tree. I'm not an arborist, so I don't know. We last year we cut down one of the branches because our insurance really needed us to cut that down. The branch was over here by the house, and it was also heavy, and they had said that it was splitting. I didn't believe it, but once we did invest in getting that branch cut, we saw that it actually had been splitting. And there was various the branches that had that split, but it looked like it had started to heal over. But if anything, like another Hurricane Hillary did come, it probably would have fell. And this time around, I don't know if the wind combined with the weight of the water on the leaves and pines and just the rain in general, or if it was already splitting, but it got a big split towards the very, very top of the branch. And there's another branch under it that's kind of maybe helping support that top branch from it actually falling and the split getting bigger. But we don't want that in our house, and it's right above the walkway, and if it does end up splitting and falling, like, it can hurt whoever is walking down by there. And part of the tree is also leaning over the neighbor's house, and I'm not sure what that looks like insurance wise, if it's our responsibility to fix damages for their house, or if it's like fair game because that branch is on their side of the house, the tree is on our property. So there's just a lot of different things to consider. And so we really entered in this, all right, we need to get this tree cut as soon as possible. And we ideally okay, so what I started doing is I started calling different places to get quotes on the tree. A couple of folks came out to look at the tree and give us quotes. Some of the people were like, it's gonna be $1,000. I got you. Not $1,000, sorry. Some of the people were like, it's gonna be $10,000. I got you. I got it. I'm gonna cut it. And I was like, $10,000, that is a lot of money. It's, even though I'm not paying the full $10,000, that is still money split between the three of us, and that in its own is a lot of money. $10,000 is what I spent to get my roof changed and replaced completely. So no, I don't think that's true. Somebody else came and was like, it's gonna be $4,000, but just for the branch. And so I was like, and then finally, I remembered that the person that came to take away the junk from our house had mentioned something about knowing somebody that does tree cutting. And so I called them up and I was like, hey, remember when you came to pick up things from my house and remove that junk, and you mentioned that there was somebody you knew that cut trees and this and this and that? And they're like, yes, I do remember. They had given us a quote then, but I do not remember at all what it was. My mom thankfully did, and she remembered that he had quoted that for the branch that's on this side, it was going to be 1,500, 1,400. And then for the entire tree down to the ground being cut was going to be 3,700 for the whole entire tree. And my mom got on the phone with him, started talking. I mean, at the very beginning, I let her handle the tree removal because we had a mishap already with the garage of somebody talked to the person, got the quote for the work that was going to be done, and then somebody else was actually there watching and seeing what the work was, and then somebody else was the one that actually paid the person at the very end, and the first original person was like, no, that's not what we had agreed to. And so there was this whole misconfusion, and so I was like, nope, this is like, I will let you take this and you will deal with this. so that there's no misconfusion, you can agree on what it is ever that you're agreeing and just let us know what the number is, and I will go ahead and do the numbers, populate, do all of that. And they agreed. They were gonna redo the numbers, see if it was actually gonna be 3,700 for the whole entire tree, which is one of the best quotes that we got compared to the $10,000 that we were going to be spending. And that's story time. Basically, last month I was panicking because it was like the branch snapped. Nobody can go under there because we weren't sure if it's going to come down immediately. And then also it was calling people, getting quotes, and I was like, I do not have money saved right now. I just pulled out the money to pay off my car loan, and I was like praying that we didn't have some type of emergency where I needed that savings that I pulled out to pay off my car. And so I was panicking because I was like, oh no, I have no money. We need to get this done right now because it is a hazard, and everyone's expecting me to pay my third of it. So I was panicking, and it was like, yes, on Saturday and Sunday we'll be there, we'll cut it down, we'll do these things. So I guess 2 points to this story. One is we have to pay to get the tree removed. We're still not sure when that is happening. Our hope is that in the next, if not this month, in the next month, to have that in process and confirmed and getting that out of our getting that down for our safety. And if it does happen this month, I don't have in my savings more than $1,000 now to be able to cover that. So my brother will be lending me some money to cover that until I can get my next paycheck to go towards that and pay for it. Let's go ahead and go to the next part. All right. So moving on, our fixed expenses, you'll see that the last paycheck, we really just covered our mortgage, Cox, SDG&E, ADT, and here we have 1,308 with 64 for our Discover card, which is the remainder of the water and sewer that we had. And so I'm gonna go ahead and pay that off this time with this paycheck. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't see anything that needs me to spend $1,000 on it. So I'm confused. I want to know what you think. I'm not gonna spend this money yet until I see what you think in the comment. But I can either save that $1,000 towards my, transfer that $1,000 to my savings account and bring my savings to $2,000 and only make the minimum payment to my credit card debt, or I can transfer those $1,000 towards my credit card debt and use that to continue making headway on this credit card. At the end of the day, I do not want to touch those $1,000. I want those $1,000 to go either just to my debt or just to my savings. And which means we really only have 408 with 35 to play around with. And like I said, I'm going to be removing 138 with 64 for the Discover. So that really leaves us with 300 something to play around with. And you will see that in August, I did spend a lot over. And that is because my sister went back to school. And so I did take her to Costco to buy a few of back to school items for her. I took her to Target to buy school supplies. So she bought a $50 backpack. Well, I bought her a $50 backpack, I should say. And so this week is also her birthday, and so I was like, your $50 backpack was your birthday present, because oh my goodness, and she got just your standard like school supplies, her notebook, her like sticky notes and whatever else. And I took her to one more store that I think she said she needed something from, and so that all went on my credit card. And so the credit card did go up then. And then it was my cousin's baby shower. She's having her second baby. She's got a C-section scheduled for this Friday, September 8th, which is crazy. So she's in the hospital right now giving birth, which is good. But she did have a baby shower, and so we went to Costco and we got her some diapers, because my mom really wanted to get her like baby clothes, and so I took my mom to Costco to find baby clothes, because she said she had seen some there, and we didn't see any baby clothes. And I was like, I'm not driving you to a different store like Target or Ross or something, because then I'm gonna want to spend something, and that's not fun because I'm trying to pay off my debt. And so I told her we need to get something that's here at Costco. And I was like, and you know what's better than baby clothes and baby blankets and baby toys is diapers. And so I got her a big, like one of those big Costco boxes of baby diapers, and my mom got her 2 of those baby wipe boxes that they have at Costco. The baby boxes are like, I want to say they were like 15 something, so like $16. So she got 2 of those. That's $30 plus tax. And then the big thing of diapers was $45 or something like that. And then I did get 3 shirts, like a pack of 3 shirts. That was a black shirt, a white shirt, and a gray shirt, because I was like, it's easy to pair up with my skirts and things like that. And a basic t-shirt. Like I didn't need anything fancy. And they're really soft. I love them. And everything together with tax came out to $51 with 14 cents. Tree, I have it under here. I just don't know how much it is. We haven't settled on a quote yet, or a quote or a date. And so we'll see what that looks like. But please let me know down below. I know we were supposed to budget this out, but I can't figure out what's the best move. Is the best move to add this to my savings and get 5% interest rate and have that when we do know what the tree cost is, and then deplete our savings again to $0? Or is it better that I put that towards my credit card debt, which we know has a timeline of 2024 of April? It's gonna go from 0% interest to, what did we say, like 30% interest, and currently it's at 7,500, and 30% interest on that is gonna suck. So what do we do? And also I know somebody said that then you can transfer to another card that's 0% interest. So I might take a look into that and see what that looks like. But what if it doesn't let me transfer? And I'm kind of like, yeah, I don't know what to do. Please let me know what you think I should do. Let me know if the math is like there, because I'm kind of leaning towards the savings route, because it's 5% interest. So I did get $3. If it stays there for the whole month of September and closes for October, then it'll get those $1,000 there as well, plus the 360 that we just added. And I'll still have $400 right now to pay my Discover and do the minimum payment for the cash rewards. I guess my question is, what do you prioritize? Do you prioritize an emergency fund, or do you prioritize paying off debt? And I had originally said I was prioritizing paying off my debt, but do I need to do a reflection and see if I need to build an emergency fund first? Can I do both? I thought I could do both, but maybe because of the circumstances that just happened, like the tree, having an emergency fund makes more sense so that I don't keep relying on debt to cover me when those emergencies happen. I guess we'll have to leave it there because I don't know what the answer is. Yeah, I guess what we're gonna do is I'm not gonna touch the money that dropped into my account besides paying my Discover card. And then as soon as I see your comments, and I'm gonna also message 3 of my friends. One is the book club, the finance book club that I've been working with, and see what they think. The other one is my 2 best friends, and ask them what they think. And then based on their responses and what you say down in the comments, I'll either go and put that money towards my savings account and start building up that emergency fund, which then I would say our goal will probably be to get $5,000 in that emergency fund before we attack heavily our credit card. Yeah, I guess I don't know what's the easier answer. Maybe it's that I put all the money towards my savings because it's gonna be getting 5% interest, and then the closer I come, and make just the minimum payments on the credit card, and then by the time it is April 2024, depending on how much I have in my credit card, I will deplete my savings again to pay off the credit card. Or if it's not enough and it makes no sense to deplete the savings, then I'll transfer that balance to a different credit card that has 0% APR. Yeah, I guess the overall goal is every single month there's going to be something happening. Every single month, there is something that's going to be happening. We had the month where we paid off the car and all of our money went towards the car. We had the month where then we had to pay car insurance, and that was for the next 6 months. And so we had to put money towards the car insurance. And then there's always going to be something. And I know like soon, later this year, I'm going to have to do my oil change. And, so there's just always different things that are going to be coming through, I think, that are going to be pulling my attention. And I think we need to do something right now. Let me get it. 1 second. All right. So this is my Bank of America Visa card that has, it's my credit card, and it's what I've been using to keep me afloat. And I have my bank open right now, and just earlier this month our target that was 7,426 with 19 cents. And that's how much was in this balance, plus the Discover of 138 with 64. And now looking at this balance, just this one, I'm at the current balance of 7,693 with 88 cents. Meaning, again, that I went and used this card to spend money that I did not have, and I still haven't even paid the Discover card. And while it may have been for a good reason, like my sister going back to school, her not having money, and the money she did have was to pay her classes and wanting to get her school supplies and her backpack, you know, and things that she needed so that she could be prepared going into this new school year, her first year in college. And, you know, also like, oh, it's her birthday, so I'll just lump that into there. It's still a problem because it's not my money that I'm spending. And so just looking at this, while I think it's great for gas, I only made 2 purchases on this that were actually gas. Everything else was a whole bunch of bullshit because it's not my money. And it's easy to go out and say, oh, I don't have that money. But when push comes to shove, this is what bails me out. And I've been using it as a crutch of, in case there's an emergency and I need to pay off a tree, I can use this. But reality is that when people come to cut down your tree, or come to replace your roof, or come to fix plumbing issues in your house and things like that, they don't take credit card. They want a debit card. They want the cash. They want something that they can confide in, because a lot of people can say that, you know, dispute the credit card charge, and then the person doesn't get their money. And so really, this is just allowing me to keep spending money that I do not have. And why am I saying this right now? Because I thought I was doing good. I know I'm doing way better than I was when I wasn't paying attention to my money, but I'm still having a hard time with it. And if I don't have the card, then hopefully I won't be able to spend the money that I do not have. And so I'm not lying. I'm cutting this. Also, I have like 3 big scissors, and I have them in my desk, my work office desk, where I can where I have it, but my family uses it and then they don't put it back. And so I always feel like I don't have a, oh, let me turn it around. I don't have a actual like good scissors. So I'm gonna keep that on my buy list if I ever need them, because I feel like you always need scissors. And here is my credit card. I'm gonna put it in the little wall above me so I can see it. With that dramatic exit, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you subscribe. This money journey is so hard. It's easy the week that you get paid, but then the next week is so much harder. Please let me know down below. Should I put the money towards my savings, or should I put it towards the credit card? Please let me know. I want to know what you think. And I will see you next week. I did not forget about the video about the home buying process. I went and I filmed it for you, and then I realized that I had about 2 hours and a half worth of content, and I didn't think you wanted to sit through a 2 hour content. So I'm gonna refilm it for you and break it down and make it shorter. And the things that I identified that you might be interested in listening to are the following. And if there's something else that you want to know, let me know. But I felt like I would start with, why did we move? What was the process that pushed us to make the decision to move? And then questions that we asked about moving in together before we took that step and had no way to move back or take a step back. So I think those questions really helped us try to figure things out and make the transition easier. Also, just going more into our experience. So there's a couple of stages that you go through. So there's the shopping for lenders and realtors and material collections, and then getting pre-approvals, and then hunting through the housings, and then getting your bid accepted, and then your closing day, and then your first year of home ownership and the joys of that, and then what happens after 2 years, what do you do your second year, and what happens beyond that, right? Because buying a house is not a short commitment. It is a long commitment, regardless of if you don't do a 30-year mortgage like we did. It's a big commitment. That's what I figured I would cover in those, and I go more into detail of those things. But if there's something else that you want to hear about, let me know. And like I said, I'll be bringing those videos to us soon. And with that, thank you so much for coming again. I appreciate all your comments and going through this journey with me. I really appreciate it. So thank you so much, and I will see you next week. Then my mom didn't believe me. She didn't believe me that, because I've been saying I don't have money. I really don't have money to be spending on anything. I'm broke, I'm in debt, and she's been noticing that I've been holding back on things that normally I would spend on. And I finally was like, I'm not lying. I'm not trying to trick you and tell you, I'm not lying. And so I showed her. I was like, look, this is what my paycheck is, right? It's right here. It dropped in my bank account. And then I was like, minus the mortgage, minus the bills. And I broke down each bill for her, like I do here for us, minus this, minus that. And then I was like, great, I have $46 left, I think is what we had said last time. And then I was like, minus the $50 for the workout class. So I'm like, I'm at negative $2. And I'm like, thankfully I have $20 in my bank account, so I can pay for my workout class without going in negatives after my mortgage and bills are charged. And then she was like, oh, okay. I was like, I'm not lying. This is what the paycheck is, and this is what the fixed expenses are, and it all left, and there's nothing for me to do. And so I'm like, if you see me spending outside of the workout class, it's because I'm putting it on my credit card, and that is not good.